Hey there, movie fans. Here we are back with a brand new episode of FYC. Joining me as always, the amazing Perri Nemiroff and the mighty Jeff Snyder, bright and early so we can get this episode of FYC going. We are revisiting two categories today. We're doing supporting actress and supporting actor to see if last week's nominations for the Critics' Choice and Golden Globes and other best of the year announcements affect our choices. And I can say that I already did on mine. I was looking at my first choices the last time we did these two categories, and some of the names I picked are absolutely out of contention. But overall, Perri, supporting actress, how do you feel about that category after the last couple weeks?
I feel somewhat similar. I feel like my list, the same people are still on my list, except for maybe one person who's risen in the ranks. But I lie. Now that I'm looking at it, somebody else fell off. Things are wild, man. Things are changing.
Yep, I agree. Jeff, what about you? What's your take on supporting actress? Has the field changed at all, seeing the direction that things have been going the last week or so?
I would say it has changed a little bit. I mean, not entirely. I actually think it's going to be, this is like going to lead to a good debate. I think this is kind of up for grabs. But yeah, I don't think it's like totally flipped on its ear just yet.
Right. Okay. Well, who was your top choice, Perri Nemiroff, for Best Supporting Actress?
My top choice has indeed changed.
Okay.
It's changed for a number of reasons. My number one right now is Ariana Grande for Wicked. I think the Wicked hype is too undeniable. It is so real. It is taking over, and it has no signs of slowing down whatsoever. I think she is quite firmly at the top of the charts. And, not to spoil some of my other predictions, but I am going to suggest that two people from the same movie wind up getting in. And I do think that while they're not going to split the votes evenly, one is going to take away enough from the other to let Ariana Grande sneak in and snag this win. Or at least that's what I'm predicting right now.
I, too, have Ariana Grande at number one.
I wasn't ready for that.
The hype is real, Perri Nemiroff. I love this movie. I just went into this film like, this could go either way. I guess I was a little skeptical because, who knows? I mean, I never saw the stage show, so I wasn't like already a fan. But like this movie just really knocked my socks off, and it lives up to the hype. And Ariana Grande was just spectacular. So I too have her at number one. I think last time I had Zoe Saldaña at number one. She's still up there, but Ariana Grande is my new number one. Jeff, where is Ariana Grande on your list?
I have her at number two.
Okay, all right.
Can't quite give her the win yet. And unfortunately, a lot of it is because she's Ariana Grande. Like, do I really think that the Academy is going to hand an Oscar to Ariana Grande for Wicked Part 1? I have a hard time seeing that, as good as she is. So I do have her as like one of the two frontrunners, but I can't wrap my head around it. Can you? I mean,
that's part of the reason why I think it's so exciting, and why I think some folks that you might not think could get behind that narrative and feel compelled to vote for her, because really, I mean, she's like subverted a lot of expectations via this performance and is deserving of all the praise she's getting.
Definitely going to get a nomination and deserves it. But the win may be a bridge too far to cross. We'll see.
All right. Well, who, Jeff, is your number one if it's not Ariana Grande?
Let's sticking with Zoe. I feel like a vote for Zoe will almost be a vote for the ensemble. It'll be like Cannes, right? And because I am starting to wonder about Carla's chances in Best Actress. So I think that Zoe's just going to be representative of Emilia Pérez, and that's the award that movie is going to win.
Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. So you're saying when you say Carla, you feel less confident about her chances. I'm assuming you mean for a win.
Right. For a win, as far as goes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant for a nomination. I'm like, all right, I disagree on that.
As far as her winning, I don't know if she'll ultimately get to that stage, but I do think that Emilia will be represented at some point in the evening, and it's going to be in this category.
Yeah. Listen, look, and it could win Best Picture. I mean, it deserves to. If it, I think Emilia Pérez is a great movie. I think it deserves to win Best Picture, but so does Wicked. So does The Brutalist, and so does there's no front runner. So Perri, who does number 2 work for? Who's at number 2 for you?
I do think there's something to be said for how you just phrased that, Jeff, where like a vote for Zoe is a vote for the whole ensemble. But I think we're going to see that represented in the amount of nominations they get.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spoil a second one of my picks on this list right now because there's just no point in dancing around it. Zoe Saldaña right now is my number 2. I do think she still has a very real chance of winning. Again, Ariana's my number 1, but I do think it's between the two of them at this point. And I'm keeping Selena Gomez in this race. I do think some of the precursors are kind of tipping the scale in her direction. And I think what's going to wind up happening is all 3 of them are going to get nominated and all 3 of them are going to lose.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's just my prediction at this point in time. Things could change, but I do think Ariana is winning this category. And while Carla is a lock, I think, for a nomination in Best Actress, I do not think she's going to win that award.
So, Perri, I used to have, I think when we first did this, I had Selena on my list, but I took her off because it felt like I was kind of like alone. I've seen her performance get a lot of crap. And I just think that there are other people who have come on stronger. I would love to see Selena Gomez get a nomination. I thought she was great.
I think she's phenomenal. So not to dig too far into this conversation, but a big part of the reason I feel even more confident in my prediction that Selena Gomez is going to get this nomination is the fact that Felicity Jones for The Brutalist has missed out on some key nominations. And on top of that, so have both of the A Complete Unknown actresses, Elle Fanning and Monica Barbaro. And if they don't start to pick up steam, I think this is going to be Selena's nomination to lose. I think there is very much space for her in this category, given how it's shaping up with other awards bodies.
I agree with that assessment. I mean, I think Zoe Saldaña definitely gets nominated. I think Selena Gomez probably gets nominated. I have her sort of back and forth between another actress that I'll get to when we get to that point. But I think that Selena Gomez will, first of all, I think she's great in the film. There was some backlash, the guy from Coda said something about he didn't think that she was great in the film, or he didn't think that her accent was convincing, and then he later apologized. Okay.
I've heard that though from multiple Spanish speakers. Okay, that people who speak Spanish do not love this movie. I just don't. I think that the movie is losing momentum. If it wasn't losing momentum, it might be able to support 2 nominations. And I think that if Zoe wasn't in the movie and if it was just Selena, she would get nominated. But I just don't see 2 nominations for that movie in this category.
Perri, you're shaking your head in unison with Jeff. You think that Emilia Pérez is losing momentum?
It feels a little weird to kind of be playing both sides of that divide. I definitely think it is losing momentum. I have a feeling that this is going to wind up being one of the most nominated films that gets the least wins. And I don't think it's losing steam quick enough to lessen the amount of nominations it's going to get. But every passing day, I think it's especially less and less likely to win something like Best Picture. I don't think it was number 1 on my Best Picture list for a period of time. I don't think it's got any shot of winning that award at right now, at least.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look, I think that Emilia Pérez is going to be one of the most nominated movies. It could get up to 14 nominations, tying with Titanic and La La Land. And there's another movie in there that has the most Oscar nominations with 14 nominations. And I think that it's worthy. I still think it's a front runner. I think this is the best chance that Netflix has ever had to actually win the Academy Award for Best Picture, but we're not talking about that. But I think that I still think it has a lot of great momentum. I think that Wicked has gone up, way, way up in that momentum, deservedly so. We're in that sort of trying to find the right word for it, that sort of zone where there's a lot going on. The Brutalist hasn't even opened in theaters yet, but everybody's saying how great that is, and it definitely is. Anora is still flying high, winning critics groups left and right, getting a lot of nominations last week at the Critics' Choice Awards. But I, too, have Zoe Saldaña at number 1.
Wait, you just said...
You just changed it.
I'm sorry, number two. Sorry.
Okay. So we are agreeing on this top two contenders.
Yes. Top two is a done deal.
Just a different order. So then, Perri, who's your number three?
My number three is Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. That is another movie that I think has, it's stayed the course. It's stayed steady. It is proven that it's got the staying power. And I think this one is going to clean up as far as nominations go in this category and others.
So meanwhile, Zoe Saldaña, Ariana Grande, and Isabella Rossellini all nominated for a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice last week. Isabella Rossellini never nominated for an Oscar, which is like crazy because she's like, a legend. It comes from a legend family. But so if you have not yet seen Conclave, it's now streaming on Peacock. I mean, I know not as many people have Peacock as they do with like Netflix or Amazon or Hulu. But if you have Peacock and you have not yet seen Conclave, please watch it. It's a great movie, and it still has a surprise ending, which people have not talked about yet. So you don't want people to spoil it. Jeff, where is Isabella Rossellini on your list?
She's actually no, just kidding. I have her at number 4.
Okay,
it's a good movie, good performance, and she stands out being like the only woman in the cast, really.
Yeah.
I think she's a pretty safe bet at this point.
Well, then who's your number 3, Jeff?
I'm curious.
I'm getting behind my girl Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. I think she comes in. I know that movie has gotten a lot of crap for like its second half, or that it's not as strong as the first half.
True.
I thought she was great and really took that whole second half by storm. I don't know. I don't see how they ignore her, but you're right that she doesn't quite have the same heat that the others have. I just think more people need to see The Brutalist, though.
Yes, I agree. And I also agree with the assessment that the second half is not as good as the first half. In fact, when I saw it in Toronto for the first time, this is my first reaction seeing it cold and pure reaction was the first half was just staggering, monumental, fantastic. Second half, this is, by the way, this is not Felicity Jones's performance that I'm criticizing here.
It's only in one half.
I'm criticizing the movie itself, that the second half feels not as seamless, feels rushed. It jumps ahead and has a very abrupt conclusion.
The 3.5-hour movie feels rushed.
But the second half does. And the conclusion does feel very like, oh, that's it. Like, okay, we just like fast forward and that's it. But I agree, Felicity Jones is fantastic.
The scene where she stands up to guys.
Yeah, that scene is one of the best scenes I've seen all year. It is one of the best performance beats I've seen all year. So like me not having her on my list right now is definitely not a reflection of how I feel about her performance. And I actually will disagree that the first half is stronger than the second. I think they're two distinct halves, and I think that was by design, but she very much commands the large majority of that second half. And I think she is phenomenal, and I know you've brought up that the movie hasn't come out, and that does contribute to this. Part of my fear is that 1, people don't watch The Brutalist because it's so long, or 2, people only watch half of The Brutalist because it's so long. Because again, we must remind everybody, human beings vote on these awards, and not everyone gives every movie its fair shake. And this is a 3.5-hour film. And I will be fully honest, I had to see it at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning before I left for a trip. And I am not going to say that I rushed to that screening super enthusiastic to be there. So again, human beings, people could be in that kind of situation. And I do think that could impact how people feel about the movie and the work in it.
Well, you're talking about people overall, whereas this is a movie that appeals to voters. I feel like The Brutalist is very much an inside the bubble movie where, I think Guild members and Oscar voters will be more inclined to see it than the general public. And this is a film where I don't think box office is going to matter. Regardless, I saw the film once and I love the movie overall. And I thought Felicity was great in the film. I need to see it again. And I really want to see the film in 70 millimeter because for one thing, if I watch it at home, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Seeing a movie at home is just not the same. I don't care what kind of a movie it is. Jeff, Perri, where's Felicity Jones on your list?
She's not on my list.
Okay. She's my number 2 honorable mention. My number 2.
Everybody remember that.
But that could change after this conversation, perhaps in a future prediction for supporting actress.
They gotta put in the work. I feel like campaigning wise, I am not hearing about The Brutalist nearly as much as I'm hearing about other titles. Like, where are they?
Well, right. That is a really great point, and that's why another actress made my supporting actress list that wasn't on the list before, because she is very much campaigning, but we are not there yet. So, Perri, who is your number 4?
My number 4 is Selena.
Selena. Okay, your number 4 is Selena. All right. And Jeff, is Selena on your list?
No, we had that conversation. I think
she's not
deserving, but I don't see it.
All right. So I'm going to go with my number 4 then, which is Daniel Deadwyler for the a fantastic performance. He was nominated for a Critics' Choice Award last week, not a Golden Globe, but I feel like there is going to be more of a look at Daniel Deadwyler because she was overlooked for Till a couple of years ago. And regardless, I mean, Till or no Till, she's fantastic in The Piano Lesson. Perri or Jeff, do you have Danielle Deadwyler on your list?
Number 5.
5 for Perri.
I want her to be on this list very, very badly because I still think about that snub, and also because I think The Piano Lesson should be getting more love in many other categories in addition to this. I feel like that kind of just, fell through the cracks for whatever reason. But I think her performance, show-stopping performance in this movie in multiple scenes. And really the same is true of John David Washington. I wish he was getting a little more credit than he is right now.
Well, that movie, The Piano Lesson, is streaming now on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, and you probably do because everyone has Netflix, then you should be watching The Piano Lesson and see for yourself how great this movie is and how awesome and how Oscar-worthy these performances are, particularly Daniel Deadwyler and John David Washington. But I think with Netflix, I mean, there's more of a push. There's been more of a push for Emilia Pérez than for Piano Lesson, and I feel like Piano Lessons is not making as much noise. Jeff,
I think your theory about voters giving her a closer look because of the Till snub, I think that holds weight. But at the end of the day, Till was homework, and so is The Piano Lesson.
So is she on your list for top 5?
These are movies you have to force yourself to watch. No one's excited to go home on Friday night after work and say, I can't wait to watch The Piano Lesson. That's a movie you have to watch because it's in the Oscar race.
Right.
Sorry.
So is she on your list for top 5 or no?
I'm sorry, man. So would you also call The Brutalist homework?
For some people it is. I mean, that's my kind of movie, but for sure there are people who think of The Brutalist like homework.
I agree with Jeff. I agree. I mean, I love the film. I think it's an outstanding movie. I was riveted from start to finish, even though I have issues with part 2, but I still love it. It didn't ruin the movie for me. I still love The Brutalist. But yeah, seeing a 3.5-hour movie is, some people might say like, oh, I don't know about this, or they might just divide it up over a couple nights when it is available to stream at home, which is why you guys
see movies that are homework. I mean, I watched the Jeremy Piven movie, The Performance, last night. That's homework.
That's a great film, and that was an awesome performance, Jeff. I mean, Jeremy Piven.
He was very good, but it's not like if that was on VOD and it's just the June, and we're not talking about the Oscars. Am I going to watch the performance in the middle of June because I like Jeremy Piven? Probably not.
All right. Well, eat your vegetables there, Jeff.
Indeed. Okay, so we got your 5s, right?
No, you got my 4. I got Ariana Grande, Zoe Saldaña, Isabel Rossellini, Daniel Deadwyler.
I see.
So I think we're missing 2 of yours, Jeff. No, 1 of yours.
1.
Which one?
Still haven't seen her yet. Seeing her tomorrow night.
What?
It's Monica Barbaro.
She's very good.
Excellent. She's excellent.
Just call it a hunch. Just call it a little gut call.
Perri, is she on your list? Monica Barbaro for a complete...
I don't have her or Elle Fanning on the list. And, I do know, what did Elle win? Elle won, she won something big recently. That was a little bit of a surprise. So I know some things are working in their favor, but other things are not. So I am not super convinced that either of them are going to break into this category. But And it's also so hard to choose between the two. I have seen the movie. I think they're both great, and they're doing very distinct things in a really great way, if that makes sense. But I will say I recorded a ladies' night with Monica, and I said this to her face. One of the very first things I scribbled in my notebook during the screening, like literally the second she steps into the film and starts singing, was like Monica, wow. And I underlined it like 10 times.
Yeah, she's great.
She's really good.
And I like, because of Elle Fanning, they could end up splitting and then not both don't get in. But for now, yeah.
And because Monica Barbaro has like the singing and guitar element, and Elle Fanning's work is like, I guess, a little less showy, it would feel like Monica might have the edge. But when you really think of what Elle is doing in that movie and what it means for Bob Dylan's journey and his arc, and how much or how little we as an audience come to know him, she's doing a significant amount of heavy lifting. It's just a different type.
She is, and I think that both Monica Barbaro and Elle Fanning are both worthy. I think Monica has the edge because she does her own singing and playing. There's always an edge with that, especially when you do your own singing. But, I think agree with Jeff that they could definitely split the vote. So, okay. So we have Jeff's 5. Perri, who was we missing from your list?
Nobody. I'm done.
She did the double.
Who's on your list, Perri?
My complete list is Ariana Grande, Zoe Saldaña, Isabella Rossellini, Selena Gomez, and Danielle Deadwyler.
My number 5, we have not heard from. And this is a name I did not have on my list before, but I put her on my list because the movie is really just very much getting a lot of attention and having a bigger impact than I expected it to. That is Nickel Boys with Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor. She's being submitted for supporting actress, and that movie's been getting a lot of attention. It's been showing up on a lot of these critics groups and a lot of the Critics' Choice and the African American Film Critics Association, and it's their number 1 movie of the year. And I feel like she has a very, very strong shot. All right, either of you want to talk me out of this?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, I couldn't stand the movie. She was fine, but like, I don't see what in that performance makes her particularly Oscar worthy. I just didn't see it.
Perri?
I mean, I'll disagree with that. I do think she's delivering really great work, and she's a standout. I'm not super convinced of that movie's chances overall. Again, it just comes down to chatter and buzz, and I'm not hearing as much enthusiasm as I would need to push her into this race, which is like an especially competitive race. So I don't think she's getting in, and she's also not really towards like the top of my honorable mention list at this point either.
All right, well, we'll see. So do either of you have Danielle Deadwyler on your list?
Wait, who are we talking about right now?
Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor.
Yeah, I have Danielle Deadwyler.
Okay, so and Jeff, you don't. Okay, but Perri and I do. So Danielle Deadwyler does make our list. So we just need to figure out the number 5. So
wait, I still have another honorable mention worth bringing up at this point.
All right.
We can't write off Margaret Qualley anymore.
I never was going to write off Margaret Qualley. She's my number 1 honorable mention.
Not only is she on the rise, but I do think with her nominations in the Globes and also CCAs, that it is a pretty big sign that the substance is on the rise in general.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Got nominated for 5 Golden Globes.
Point that out.
Nominated for 7 Critics' Choice Awards. The substance is I would say, I used to call it a love it or hate it movie, but a lot more people love it. And it is showing up much, much stronger on these groups so far. So if I have Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor on my list at number 5 right now, I'd be perfectly happy with taking her out and putting Margaret Qualley in, or putting Felicity Jones in, or putting Selena Gomez in. Those are the 3, 4 actually. But Monica Barbaro, I mean, I love her in A Complete Unknown, but I don't think that she's going to make the cut. My 3 for number 5 are Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor for Nickel Boys, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, or Selena Gomez for Emilia Pérez.
I think it's got to be Felicity.
Perri? Sorry, I thought you froze there for a minute.
No, because I'm just thinking of how much overlap we have.
Yeah, who is the fourth one?
So
we're saying Ariana.
Our top three are undeniable.
Right.
Ariana, Zoe, and Isabella, no matter what. And then my 4 and 5 have 2 between us. I have Selena and Danielle, and I believe at least one of you have each of them.
I have Danielle.
Oh, okay. So am I the only one with Selena? Oh, okay.
So Danielle's on because she has the 2 votes.
Yes.
Right.
And I have Felicity and Monica. Your other one.
I don't have either.
Your one is who's the other one?
I have Anjing, Felicity, or Selena.
I mean, I have to make.
I have Anjing, but neither of you do, so she's out.
I have to make a strong case for Felicity Jones, a past nominee who's in the Brutalist, which is going to get a lot of nominations.
I will be fine with putting her on the list.
And she's really the female lead of the second half, which is the length of a feature.
All right. In that case, Jeff, you convinced me. I will put Felicity Jones on my number as my number 5. So our 5 for supporting actress as of now, this list could change the next time we cover supporting actress, are Ariana Grande for Wicked, Zoe Saldaña for Emilia Pérez, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson, and Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. Do you agree with our 5 for supporting actress? If you do, if you don't, comment below. Hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to Perri's channel. Make sure you subscribe to Jeff's The In Snyder newsletter. And now we're going to move on to supporting act. Or you know what? Should we wait? Should we save supporting actor for the next one? What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? Should we do it? Let's just do it. All right, let's just do it. All right. See, this is a bonus episode of FYC. I was on the fence, like, should we do 2 categories or should we save it for the next episode? But
it's Christmas.
This is our Christmas gift. We're going to do 2 categories.
Christmas with 3 Jews. Happy Hanukkah.
3 Jews. You got 3 nights of Hanukkah right here. All right. So supporting actor, Jeff, who is your number 1 for supporting?
I'm going last. Didn't you see the private note, Scott?
Okay, last and number 1 for supporting actor. All right, Perri, who is your number 1 for supporting actor?
I think my number 1 is possibly running away with this category. I have Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. I think you watch this movie, it's just impossible not to be taken by his work here. That energy is just so specific to him. I love me a performance when I watch and I know with certainty that there isn't a single other actor on this planet who could play that role that same way. And that is 100% him in this movie.
All right, Jeff, Kieran Culkin, who just won the Emmy lead actor in a drama series for Succession. Does he follow it up with not only an Oscar nomination for A Real Pain, but potentially, if he's our number 1 choice, the frontrunner to win an Oscar right 6 months after winning an Emmy? What do you think?
No.
He's not your number 1. Kieran Culkin is not your number 1. What? Who is your number 1?
Is he your number 1, Scott? I said I was going last.
Yeah, absolutely he is. I mean, like,
absolutely. So you guys think it's like done deal, runaway train, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Feeling like that to me.
Here we go. I'm going to shock the world right now. You ready?
I think I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
What am I going to say? I'd love to hear.
Tell me. I'm not going to.
What do you think I'm going to say?
I want to hear what you're going to say, not what you think you're going to say.
I've thought about this long and hard.
All right.
Kieran Culkin is great in that movie. I have him at number 2.
Okay.
He's got great vibes. There's another guy who gives off great vibes, very different vibes.
Okay. Can I say who it is?
Yes.
Denzel Washington.
Nope.
Okay, shoot.
I could give you a bunch of guesses. I don't think you're going to get it.
I'm not going to get it. Go ahead.
Jeff Snyder, as of this moment, is predicting that.
Wait, can I say one guess?
Yes.
Clarence.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Number 1.
At this moment,
disappointed it wasn't him.
I am predicting an Oscar victory for Yura Borisov.
Oh shit! I would take that in a heartbeat.
I think that this guy is going to come out of nowhere and get the votes.
I think you are so wrong, Jeff, but I wouldn't be mad if you were right.
In a sea of celebrities, no one knows who he is. Very quiet performance, but he he did stand out. He did something in that movie, and I see him in the predictions, and he's hanging around the charts and moving his way up slowly from the 5th to the 4th to the now in 2nd in some places. You're Borisov. That's my call.
All right. So wait, I just want to say one thing. When we were talking about lead actor, and I said that Ralph Fiennes was my front runner to win because it was a powerful, restrained performance. You gave me shit because it was a restrained performance, and people don't win awards for restrained performances. I agree that Yuri Borisov is terrific. In Anora, I have him on my list at number 4. He does give a dialed back performance as well, a strong dialed back performance. It's just in the right zone where he stands out without being too showy. But I don't think that he wins. He's not my number 1. He is my number 4.
You're crazy. Well, I know I sound crazy.
Okay, the only thing against Kieran Culkin is he's playing a character that if you've seen him in interviews elsewhere, or you've interviewed him yourself, maybe he's playing someone who's pretty close to who he is. Is it truly a performance, or is he just like playing himself? Well, regardless, I think it's a great performance. He's my number 1. Perri,
when he gives that ring back to her, I don't want to get into spoilers.
It's a beautiful, again, Jeff, I'm not going to be mad if you're right. I don't think you're going to be. The narrative that I could see playing out that is somewhat in line with what you're explaining. And I all think this is obviously totally contingent on nominations, because I'll just say I have Yura at number 5. I think one of his bigger hurdles is that I think both him and Mark are in contention for this nomination. And I think there might be some people out there who are torn between which type of performance in that movie that they want to honor.
Right.
If he gets in, I think there's a chance that what you're saying could play out. The lesser known contender that I think has a better chance of winning, though, is Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing. That is another one where he's mesmerizing on screen. I was so quickly taken by his work. And I know I have mentioned in earlier episodes of FYC that I'm concerned that Sing Sing isn't going to pick up steam again because it was released over the summer, but it has. They've put in the work, and I think it's paying off. And ultimately, I do think Clarence is going to get a nomination. And I think if they play it right after the nominations are announced, that maybe some of the more familiar names could split the vote, and the enthusiasm that I'm hearing about his performance could take hold, and he might be the one to steal the win.
Clarence Macklin is indeed great in Sing Sing. But first of all, Sing Sing is not really just breaking through as strong as it should, because I love that movie. I've loved it since I saw out of TIFF a year and a half ago, and it was at the South by Southwest in March, and it opened in August, but it was probably too early. However, I don't have him on my list. I moved him off my list to honorable mention, not because of his performance, but because Sing Sing just is not as breaking through as it should. For the type of movie it is. I mean, I love it. It's very much a Shawshank Redemption of the 21st century, but also, his story about being a formerly incarcerated person to being an actor in a great movie is a great story. But, does he have sort of the, paying his dues and history and impact as an actor as some of the other nominees? I don't know. I mean, I could still put my Clarence Macklin on the list by the end of the conversation. Jeff, do you have Clarence Macklin on your list?
I'm with you, Scott. I have him in honorable mention. Yeah. It's like when I went to see Sing Sing this summer, I was told, keep an eye out on this guy, and he was good, but I just didn't think he was transportive.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, I got him on my honorable mention. All right. So Yuri Borisov is your number 1. Kieran Culkin's your number 2, Jeff?
Yeah.
All right, Perri, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Guy Pearce for The Brutalist.
Okay.
I think he is a pretty significant standout in that movie, and also given how things have been going for that movie with nominations thus far, I do think he has a better chance of getting a nomination than Felicity does, even though, again, both incredible.
I have Guy Pearce at number 3 on my list. This would be Guy Pearce's first Oscar nomination if he gets nominated. He's also a double nominee for the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice last week. I think Guy Pearce gets in over Felicity Jones. I agree with that. Jeff, where do you have Guy Pearce on your list?
I have him at number 3. I think he's a lock for a nomination, but I just didn't love the performance. I think he goes a little too big at times, a little too like snarly and mustache twirly. So I think it's a nomination for me, but I don't really get the win talk.
All right. Well, he's a nominee because we all have him on our list here. My number 2 is Denzel Washington for
No way.
Yes way.
No, we're letting Gladiator 2 go.
I'm not. You may let the movie go, but I'm not letting his performance go.
The movie is going to drag him down.
No, it's not. Yeah, he's a 2-time Oscar winner for Glory and for Training Day. He's a nominee for Golden Globe and Critics' Choice. People, if you don't think the movie is that great, you cannot deny that his performance in it is great. And I think his performance is great. He's getting nominated. He's my number 2. I'm assuming, Perri, you don't have him on your list at all.
Listen, I don't think he's not delivering good work in the movie, but I think because the movie isn't as strong as it needs to be, he's only giving me a fraction of a character. It's like a caricature performance versus all of these other really like full layered people. I don't have him on my list. The second I saw the movie, it was the definition of an overhyped first reaction to a film for me. And I immediately removed it from every single category, including this one.
Well, I disagree. I think that his performance is great. And I like that he's pulling the strings from behind the scenes, and he's just trying to control the guys in charge. Jeff, do you have Denzel on your list at all?
This is where Perri should cut in a clip of me on the last time we did this. And I'm like, Denzel Washington, done deal. It's over. 3rd Oscar in the bag. I have Denzel at number 4.
Okay. All right.
I do think that he makes the list. I think you're right, Scott. He's the reason this movie worked as well as it, to the extent that it did.
100% yes.
If he's not in that movie, we walk out of that movie being like, wow, that was pretty disappointing.
I agree. I agree with the criticism that Gladiator 2 is not as good as the first movie.
Sure.
But I still very much enjoyed it for what it was. Perri, I know you don't like the film. I am not going to convince you.
I never said I didn't
like it. You don't like it, just like you didn't like Saturday Night. Fine, I get it. But
I never said, for the record, Mance, I never said I didn't like the film. I just thought it was fine. I thought it was an entertaining watch, but it came nowhere close to reaching the heights of the original, and it had some significant plot holes for me.
Okay, well, I like the movie a lot. I just rewatched the original recently, and I'm like, now there's an Oscar-winning movie. First movie's awesome. Second movie is like a 3.5 out of 5. Still really enjoyed it, but Denzel is a 5 out of 5. I thought he was great.
You need some mega A-listers to be nominated and at the show, and he's going to get in.
And also, like, people are seeing this movie, so there's that. Okay, so we got Kieran, we got Yora, we got Guy Pearce. 2 of us have Denzel. Jeff, who else is on your list that we didn't get to yet?
My man, Jeremy Strong.
Jeremy Strong. Ooh,
Jeremy Strong is my number 5. I get it. Yeah, The Apprentice, Trump, blah, 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 blah. This guy's performance is incredible. Incredible.
I agree.
Don't see how they ignore it.
I agree. And he was nominated for Golden Globe, not a Critics' Choice. He is also an Emmy winner for a lead actor in a drama series for Succession, not the same season that Kieran Culkin just won in. Perri, I'm going to assume that Jeremy Strong is not on your list.
And I'm not saying he's not great in the movie, but I don't think that movie has the campaign behind it that it would need to push it into this race.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like hardly anyone saw the film. It made $4 million at the box office. But again,
what did Sing Sing made?
Well, Sebastian Stan was a double nominee for a Golden Globe for Different Man and for Apprentice.
People are watching this movie.
Yep. Yeah. No, absolutely. All right. So then, Perri, who did we get to on your list?
You missed my number 3. My number 3 is Stanley Tucci for Conclave. I think that is one of the best ensembles of the year, and I particularly love his role in it and how his position in that race and stance on certain matters evolves. And I think his character in particular highlights some of some of the movie's strongest themes and ideas. So I think he has a very good shot of getting into this race.
Jeff, is Stanley Tucci on your list?
No, he's good, but he
You
just
just don't like Conclave.
I thought it was fine. I gave it a B. Like,
I love Conclave.
I didn't think any of the supporting cast other than Isabella really like stood out to me. Like, because I think we went into it being, is it Tucci? Is it Lithgow? Is it, you know, this other person? Yeah, I don't think it's any of them. So I just think the force of personality on these other guys is stronger.
All right. Well, who are we missing from your list, Jeff?
We're not listening. I got all my 5. The only other person I was going to ask you about, because I haven't seen it yet. Do you guys think Ed Norton has a chance?
Yes.
Buddy, you should ask me there, Mr. Snyder, because I have Edward Norton as my number 5 on my list. I think he is fantastic. I know the movie's all about the Bobster, but I thought as a Pete Seeger, he was fantastic. I was very, very, very impressed by his banjo playing and his singing and his performance. He was nominated for Golden Globe and a Critics' Choice last week. And I have him on my list. He's my number 5. But Perri, I do like your choice for Stanley Tucci and Conclave. You know, I just rewatched it on Peacock and last night actually. And you're right, he is great. I would be perfectly fine with flipping them. But I also I do think Clarence Macklin is great in Sing Sing. I think that Jeremy Strong is outstanding in The Apprentice. And I also really love John Magaro in September 5, a movie that people are not talking about, even though it has 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. All right. So Edward Norton, Stanley Tucci, and Jeremy Strong.
Our lists are all over the place.
Yeah, let's go over it again. So I think we have 4.
4, yes. Go ahead, Jeff.
We have Kieran Culkin.
Yep.
We have Guy Pearce.
Yep.
Yura Borisov, yes.
Yes.
And Denzel.
Correct.
No, I don't. Well, I don't have Denzel.
So he's in. So you're right. It's Norton, Jeremy Strong, Macklin, and somebody else.
Tucci.
Don't get touchy, Tucci.
To me, it's clearly Strong, but I also understand what you guys are saying about the movie, so I'm happy to take him off.
Instead of,
I would put on again blind at this point, Norton.
I'm not opposed to putting Ed Norton on. Like I think he is great in the movie, and I also think there's something about the character, the person he's playing, Pete, that's just like he's just got like this like magical warmth to him that winds up making his work stick with you, perhaps even more so than some of the other performances in the film. So I can see him getting in here.
Absolutely. He is a warm character until the end when things don't quite go his way. But it's a great arc for that character as well. I thought Edward Norton was fantastic. I've been a fan of his since Primal Fear, that he got nominated for back in 96 with Richard Gere. That movie's fantastic. Oh, it's like great movie. All right, so I'm going to stick with my number 5 then, Edward Norton. Perri, are you down for that?
Yes, okay. I will agree with that.
All right, then there are the 5.
Wait,
we have Kieran Culkin.
Didn't we have to pick 2?
What?
Oh, no. Wait.
Denzel was the other one.
Okay.
Sorry, Perri. Yes.
It's okay.
Denzel makes the list. In addition to Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Yura Borisov for Honora, and Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. So there are our 5 picks for supporting actor. Let us know what you think of our picks in the comments section below. As always, be nice in our comment section below because we like nice people. We do not like trolls. We do not like mean bullies. So be nice and end the year on a positive note. And make sure you also end the year on a positive note by subscribing to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel. Just scroll down a little bit right now while we have your attention. Just hit the subscribe button. You'll be very, very glad you did because in addition to new episodes of FYC, you will get Perri's reviews, you'll get Ladies Night, you'll get all your good stuff. And also make sure you subscribe to Jeff Snyder's newsletter, theinsnyder.com. He is breaking news faster than the trades, and that's saying a lot. Make sure you also check out Jeff's other show with my great friend Johnny Roca on his YouTube channel, John Roca. It is called The Hot Mic, and it is always smoking hot. And you can catch me some mornings, some evenings on KTLA in Southern California or on KTLA.com. And as always, please be sure to share FYC on your social media platforms so more people can discover why we are the most fun Oscar pundits. And you don't need all the other people. Just need the mighty trio, the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy of FYC pundits, Nemiroff, Snyder, and Movie Mans. Thank you for watching. And until the next episode of FYC, see you later and Merry Christmas.